It's your boy Fares Muthana. Welcome to another great edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. Today we are talking the festive fixtures, holiday dubs all around. For me, for you, for everybody. Santa came and went and gave us the gifts of joy. My name is Fares Muthana. You can find you and with my main man. Oh, I messed that up. I messed it up. Right, let's get back into it, guys.
Okay.
My name is Fares. No, we're not gonna restart it.
No,
No, we're not gonna start it again.
you gotta start over.
No, we're already late. We're already late.
Up.
You literally were already late. We can't start the show again.
Just start over.
No. Shout out to Jay. Jay's already here. We can't leave. See, Jay's already here. We can't leave. But let's talk about it, guys. The Giants faced the Las Vegas Raiders. The Dallas Cowboys faced the Washington Commanders on Christmas Day. Caleb, tell me, did you find a gift under the tree when the Cowboys and the Commanders played?
Not really, because they played pretty badly. It looked ugly. We won, but we went against a really crappy Josh Johnson-led Commanders team, and we let them, move the ball up and down the field on that crappy defense. And then, we already went over this on Thursday, by the way.
Yeah. We did. Let's move on.
We're mostly supposed to be talking about the Giants game.
Yeah, let's talk about the Giants. Forget about the Cowboys. We'll preview the Cowboys in a bit.
Give a cap on it. Yeah,
yes.
It was not a great performance. But we ended to get, which I wanted to win. I want to have a winning season. I want to finish strong. But it wasn't a good performance.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, it wasn't. Jacory Krosky married over 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. You can't stop the run anymore. 23 points by Josh Johnson-led team. You barely beat them by 7. Your team sucks. A couple weeks ago, I did a thumbnail where it literally just said we suck, because we do. Both teams suck. We are not very good at our job. Both teams stink. And you know what? The only reason the Giants won this week, let's transition over to the Giants, because we already talked about the Cowboys on our post-game show on last Thursday. The only reason they won is that we were against the Raiders. We were having a tank off because before the game, Caleb, each team put like 8 players on IR before the game. You know what I mean? Brock Bowers was like I said, you said Brock Bowers was gonna play. He didn't. Before the game, he
didn't say he was gonna play. I said he was out.
No, you did.
No.
No, you did.
I let you know that he wasn't playing.
And then I changed my score prediction. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so Brock Bowers was out. Geno Smith got hurt in the game. The wide receivers stink. Jackson Powers Johnson has been out for weeks. I think Colton Miller wasn't playing. This was just 2 bad teams being bad. And unfortunately, one team is just good at being bad more than the other team. And that is the Las Vegas Raiders. The Giants were going to win this game. They blew them out. Jackson Dart had a good game, but why does that matter? Why does that matter? Because it doesn't matter, because it's against the Raiders. You know what I mean? They blew them out like they were supposed to. They beat them 34-10. Jackson Dart had 200 yards passing, no touchdowns, but he had 2 touchdowns rushing. Devin Singletary had a touchdown. We had a kick return. This is how I knew this game was a farce, Caleb. We had Deontay Banks returned a kickoff, and we scored on a kickoff. And I'm like, yeah, this game is jokes, bro. This game is jokes.
Played a horrible, horrendous.
This game is jokes, bro. Our kicker went 2 for 2 on his field goals, which never happens for the past 3 years. He made all 4 extra points, which again never happens these last couple years. It was a bad team beating up on the worst team in the NFL. This was gonna always happen, because one thing you say about the Giants is they've been in a lot of games. They've been in, like I said, Caleb, a couple weeks ago. What did I say our motto was? They had a chance. There's been weeks where the Giants had a chance. There's been like 6-7 weeks this year where the Giants have had a chance to win the game.
And that shit shows you how bad the Raiders are.
Exactly, that's how bad the Raiders are. They are a horrible team. They are a horrible team. No, I'm not mad at them for doing their
Could be,
jobs,
man. You
Jay.
just
No, no,
lost the first pick.
yeah, but here's the thing too, Caleb. It's fine losing the first pick because we don't really need it.
Why do you not need it? Even if you say
I
you're not going to use it, which I think you should use it because your quarterbacks.
you want honestly, bro. I'm sorry. I don't know where this Fernando Mendoza.
Did you see him play?
Okay, that says more about Alabama's stupidity than Mendoza. I don't think for 4 years at Cal, no one said Fernando Mendoza first overall pick. No one did. No one did. At least when Jared Goff was at Cal, people were like, okay, he may be going first overall. No one said that about Fernando Mendoza. Dante Moore, by the way, has 1 year of starting experience in college football. We'll talk about college football in a bit. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But we're still the number 2 pick. We're still in position. So we didn't really fall that much. So we're 2. Next week is the big thing, Caleb. Like, if we beat the Cowboys, which is not going to happen. Dak Prescott's 13-0 against us. His last 13 starts. We can fall all the way down to 7th. But I don't expect us to beat the Cowboys. I don't. So that's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
I'm not going to get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but we'll stay at 2.
But you could have 1.
Who cares? We're going to go receiver anyway.
Who cares?
We're going to go receiver anyway. We're going to the receiver or, because we're going to trade back.
You could have traded back with the number 1 and you would have got even more.
Well, if QB needy teams, their number 2 pick is up for grabs. Because if the Raiders get the number 1 pick, the number 1 pick isn't up for grabs. The number 2 pick is up for grabs. We're still going to get the same haul because that's what's going to happen because people are going to want to go up to the number 2 pick. Because now they know the number 1 pick isn't up for grabs because the Raiders are going to go quarterback. So the number 2 pick.
You should go quarterback.
No, I don't think so because nothing from what I've seen from Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore and Ty Simpson have told me that they're better than Jackson Dart. They're not. None of them are. So why? And every time you say draft a new quarterback, Caleb, it's not because you think he sucks. It's that you think he's not going to be healthy enough to survive.
Well, I also don't think he's not that good either.
Oh, now he's not that good either.
I'm not saying he can be. We just don't know, and I don't think he's ever gonna get to that point where you can even say that he is that great.
Because he's not going to be healthy enough to be that good. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Right
now, he's not that good.
I don't agree. I think he's better than the 3 guys we've. Dante Moore played horribly against Texas Tech. Dante Moore's had bad games all year. He started 1 year in college football. I don't think Dante Moore is going to come. He's going to declare. I think it's 50-50 with him. So it goes from a 2 QB class to a 1. And then Ty Simpson, after the game they were beat down by Indiana. Now we're going into our college football segment through the banners. We're talking Giants, desert domination in Vegas. Forgot about the banners. It was domination. Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, they beat down.
You're gloating on saying the words like domination against the Raiders.
Well, you're supposed to dominate teams like the Raiders. You're supposed to. You're supposed to dominate them. But I digress. Yeah, there's nothing really much to say about this game. It was 2 bad teams, and 1 bad team beat the shit out of the other bad team.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
But you might, if the Raiders win, do you get the number 1 pick?
If we lose, yes.
If you lose and they win,
yes.
Okay, so that's possible because I'm kind of picking the Raiders to beat the Chiefs.
Come on, let's see. How many wins do the Raiders have?
They have 3.
They have 3, and we have 3. So yeah, if they win, they're 4. We're 3. Yeah, we get the number 1 pick.
Or they have 2. Do they have 2? They might have 2 wins.
Let's see. Oh, they have 2 wins. Oh yeah, no, they got the number 1 pick. Okay, yeah, they're sealed.
But even if they lose,
if we lose and they win, they get the number 1 pick because we beat them.
Which they could, because the Chiefs are starting the third string quarterback.
Yeah,
They have nobody on their team. They're all. I mean, they actually might be worse than the Raiders
at this moment. Yeah. They're not good. They're not good. This is a bad game. But yeah, man, it was, there's not really much to say about the Giants, bro. Like, all the news about them now is in the front office. It's someone, I think it's Ian Rappaport or Mike Garafolo on NFL Network. You know how like they put those graphics when they're talking, Caleb?
Mm-hmm.
And in one of the graphics, someone pointed out, it said Joe Shane coming back. Shane coming back. That's what it is. So Joe Shane's not fired. He's coming back next year. Which could mean two things. Means he's coming back to just oversee the transitional period into the draft, and they're gonna fire him. I don't know why. Or he's coming back next year. Like he's getting one more year. And then we started. I watched. Shout out to my homies at He's a Giant Pod. They broke down the front office drama pretty amazingly. Where right now they don't know who's running the Giants, Caleb, because John Mara is not running the Giants. He like a couple weeks ago where it said he was diagnosed with cancer, so he's away. So no one knows who's running the team. No one knows. And them using his health as kind of cover on why they're making these bad decisions is disgusting. Because we found out he had cancer a couple of months ago, probably a month ago or 2 months ago. But they've probably known for over a year. So they should have set a succession plan on who runs this team. But the problem here is, Caleb, there is no one's good enough to run the team because they all suck. They all suck. Because they pointed out to me, when I was watching He's a Giant Pod a couple days ago, they pointed out to me, the tenure of the New York Giants, Caleb, the tenure of them, when Tim Mara bought the team for $50 in 1925, crazy, right? $50 in 1925. I think that's $2,000 now, I think. Imagine buying the Giants for $2,000, Caleb. There's been long periods, Caleb, of they suck. Just long periods of them stinking. And then when they're good, right, for those 10 years, it yields a Super Bowl or two. From the late 80s, from the 80s to like the early 90s, that period yielded us 2 Super Bowls. But in the 70s, we weren't very good. In the 60s, we were meh. In the 50s, we were, because in the 60s, we were fighting Johnny Unitas. We were a part of a lot of memorable moments in history, but we lost a lot of them. The greatest game ever played. We lost that game. You know what I mean? With Alan Menka. And then when the mid-90s, Caleb, we stunk. And then we had that Super Bowl appearance against the Ravens. Guess what the Ravens did to us? They slapped us around. Then after that, we stunk a little bit, and then we struck gold in 2004 when we got Eli Manning. And then literally, Eli Manning, I know 8-8, 9-7, most years, 10-11-5 here and there, 12-4 some years. But he stabilized the Giants and won them 2 more Super Bowls. Because this regime is egotistical, selfish, childish, and unfit to lead a multi-billion-dollar industry. Because when you're telling me if John leaves, they're going to give the reins to his brother Chris, that does not mean, that's not a good thing, Caleb. Because why? Let me tell you why. Because he wanted to be the GM in 2006. Steve Tisch, the co-owner, said no. Or was it Bob? I think it was Bob, Steve's dad, said no. No. It was Steve or Bob, one of them. Then they hired Jerry Reese, who was our director of pro player personnel. And Jerry Reese, someone like one of like a close assistant to Jerry Reese. Someone asked him because Ty Dunn, the investigative reporter, has done a lot of stories on the New York Giants and the way they operate. Tells Ty Dunn, he says, what Jerry Reese had to do to survive in New York for 10 years is stuff other GMs don't have to deal with. He had to fight Chris Mara and his cronies for power. And when you're so two of the owners hire you because their former GM recommends you, good. But the brother of the owner who's pissed off is doing everything in his way to sabotage you, and you still yield, Caleb, 2 Super Bowl victories, multiple playoff appearances. And then at the first sight of trouble in 2017, after the Eli Manning debacle, where he says Eli Manning's old, we need to move on, but really they should have, fixed the offensive line.
I mean, he was old, and you did need to move on.
Yeah, but we also needed to fix the offensive line for the future, because guess what happened with the offensive line for the next 10 years? They're not good.
Yeah.
It was just horrible for 7 years. It was just horrible. They finally fixed it this year. Chris Mara and his cronies and John Mara took that as an excuse to get rid of Jerry Reese, even though Jerry gave them 2 Super Bowl victories, Caleb. In 10 years, Caleb, 2 Super Bowl victories. 2. How many Super Bowls did Les Snead yield with the Rams? Les Snead has been with the Rams for like over 20 years. He was there with them in St. Louis. He was there with them in LA. How many Super Bowls did Les Snead give the Rams, Caleb?
Was it there in 99?
No.
Oh,
No, he wasn't.
Just one.
But you're telling me a GM in his first 10 years, Caleb, got you 2 Super Bowl victories, and you don't give him enough, you don't give him some leeway, you don't give him some credit? That's because Chris Mara is egotistical, childish, and is not fit to be a leader. Well, we fixed it to, to a standard.
I wouldn't say it's fixed. It's just
it's better.
It's an NFL offensive line now.
It's an offensive love now. Yeah, it's not better. We still need to get better. But yeah, so you're telling me if John's gone, who is a bad owner, and you're gonna replace him with someone who's a worse owner and someone who no one wants to work with, because other reports have stated that Chris Mara. Caleb, this was reported. This is a fact, Caleb. The Giants were going to sign Russell Okung. Shout out to He's a Giant Pod for telling me this, because they found it from Ty Dunn or some other reporter. Shout out to He's a Giant Pod. They were going to sign Russell Okung. And they were going to sign him. But Chris Mara stepped in and said, I don't want to sign him. His agent called me an asshole once. That's why Russell Okung is not a New York Giant. Because a grown man, this man is in his 50s. A grown man couldn't look past the fact someone called him an asshole. He threw a hissy fit over it. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, Caleb, that agent was probably correct. Because Chris Mara, his reputation is he is an asshole. That's his reputation. So the agent told you a fact, and you got sad about it. You threw a hissy fit. So you're telling me these are my options. John Mara, who has lost his touch, never had his touch, has completely failed in his job as owner, or his idiot, childish little brother. Those are my 2 options, Caleb. Because Steve Tisch doesn't do football operations. Because Steve just owns the Giants. He owns 45% of them. He's a movie guy. He does movies. The Tisch Media School at NYU, that's named after his family. He this is just comfortable living for him. He doesn't really join the minutia of football like that. He owns the Giants. He does his movies in Hollywood. He's not really in New York. He's just chilling.
Well, neither are the Giants.
Exactly. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So this is my options, Caleb. These are my options. These are my options, Caleb. John Mara, who has cancer, his idiot childish little brother, or Steve Tisch, who doesn't really care. But there's a dark horse, Caleb. Someone finally talked about it. I've been thinking about it. He's a Giant Pod brought it up as well. A couple of months ago, Caleb, they sold 10% of the New York Giants to Julia Koch. Julia Koch is a part of the Koch family. You know what her net worth is, Caleb? By herself. $81 billion. By herself. So they sold 10% to her. My shout out to the homie Monty on Sal on He's a Giant Pod. He's a Mets fan. And the way the new owner of the Mets became the owner of the Mets, Caleb, is the old owners sold him a piece of the Mets. Then over the next 5 to 10 years, he slowly bought the Mets, and now he's the owner of the Mets outright. So you're telling me the Koch family, especially Julia Koch, who's worth $81 billion, who wins literally in everything, because the Koch family, all they do is win. You know, I have my own opinions about them personally, and everyone has their, but you know, they win. You think she's gonna be okay with 10% of the New York Giants? You think she's gonna sit there and say, "Oh, this little 10%, I like this little 10%"? You don't think she's setting up something? You don't think so? You don't think she rolls up to Steve Tisch and says, "Hey, Steve, how much for your 45%?" And Steve is like, "Give me $5 billion and you can have it." You know, it's the New York Giants. You're in New York. You know, the way teams are sold nowadays, it's worth 5, 6. She gives them 5. She now owns 55% of the New York Giants. She becomes the controlling member of the team. But then, imagine this. The Mara family, shout out to He's a Giant Pod, they brought this theory up. There's 11 kids, Caleb. John, Chris, and they have 9 other siblings. 11 kids. Wellington Mara has 11 kids. You don't think the other 11 kids are like, "Yo, man, I want to pay out. I'm done with football. This ain't fun no more. I don't want to do this. Steve is getting $6 billion, $5 billion for his share. Let's sell our share for 6 and be done with this, because this isn't working. You stink at your job. Chris doesn't know what he's doing. The Giants suck. We don't get a lot of money because what, Caleb? Because they make $13 billion a year, right? Each team gets half a billion, 500 million, I believe, or like, because I think because the official records for the Green Bay Packers had $555 million for the Packers. So every team gets like $500 million, give or take. They have to split that $500 million between 2 people, the Tisches and the Maras. So each of them get $200 million, $250, give or take. So then Steve keeps most of the $250 because it's just Steve and probably his other siblings. I think he has like 2 or 3 other siblings, but I think it's just him maybe. But the Maras, they take that $250, Caleb, and they got to divide it 11 ways because there's 11 kids. Wellington Mara had 11 kids. So he has to divide it 11 ways, and then the kids then say, "Do I want to give it to the grandkids?" Because Wellington Mara has 36 grandkids.
Damn.
But yeah, exactly. Because 11 kids, 36 grandkids. So Wellington, all 11 kids get a slice of the 250 because they have to give the other half of the 500 to the Tisches. Because the Maras back in the day, there was a civil war. They got mad at each other. And then, you know, the NFL had to intervene. And, you know, they didn't talk to each other. Then one half of the Maras sold their share to the Tisches for in like 90 or 91, I think. So 250 split into 11 ways. So they're not yielding as much money as the other NFL owners, right? Jerry doesn't have to share his $500 million with anybody from the NFL. That's Jerry's. Then he'll give it to some of his son, then his daughters, here and there. He doesn't have to share because he owns the Cowboys outright. This is my team, my money. So you don't think, man, So they don't make as much money, the 11 kids each from this. So you don't think the Colts, if they rolled up, would be like, I'll give you $10 billion for the Giants right now? 9. You don't think the Maras and the Tishes are going to be like, yeah, why not? So shout out to He's a Giant Pod. They brought up that theory. I've always thought about that theory with Julia Koch because it makes no sense her just buying 10% and she has no control. She's richer than both of them combined. $81 billion, Caleb. That's how much she's worth.
Well, I mean, they got a good trade. I mean, the Giants haven't been good forever. I mean, how much longer do you want to own a team that stinks all the time?
Exactly. It's not fun anymore. The other 9 kids, I think only 4 of them operated in this football space. It's John, Chris, and 2 other people. And then 7 other kids they're not involved. So you don't think if someone rolled up and said, I'll give you $10 billion for the New York Giants? You don't think they're going to be like, let's think about it?
Or at least put someone in charge that knows how to run the team a lot better. I mean,
that's the thing, Caleb.
That's the thing you could start off with.
Well, here's the thing, Caleb. Shout out to He's a Giant Pod. I keep giving them credit because they brought up something that Roger Goodell's been at New York Giants games a lot these past couple weeks. You've seen him a lot at the New York Giants.
Why?
Because that's the thing is John isn't healthy. And he needs to know who's running this team and what's happening in the front office, not the front office, ownership. Who's running this team? Who's in charge? This is one of the flag-bearing teams of the NFL. This, you know what I mean? You know, I know we were there. It's like us, the Packers, the Steelers, the Colts. You know what I mean? Like the Bears, like us. It's us. Who's running this team? John's not healthy enough. Who's running this team right now? So Roger's like, who's running this team? So I think the NFL probably, if you look at it, the NFL's probably going to do what they did to them in the 80s. Because during that Mara Civil War, the NFL intervened and made George Young the GM and president of the team. It's like, he's going to run the team. You guys stay out of it. Stop bickering. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. And then half of the Mara sold their share to the Tishes. Roger may be like, we may need to hire somebody. You know what I mean? Hopefully he won't have to step in like David Stern had to. But here's the thing, Jay. The NFL has done that to them specifically. Caleb, your camera's off.
I know.
Oh, okay. But here's the thing, Caleb. Here's the thing, Jay. You're right about that. Hopefully he doesn't do that. You know, but the NFL has done it to this team. Specifically this team. They've already intervened back in the 80s with this exact same team. They've already intervened. That's the problem is. It's rotten from the core, so which is at the top. This team is rotten. It's rotten. The NFL had to come in and make George Young the GM. And guess what happened? Guess what happened, Jay? When George Young became the GM, the Giants became the Giants. LT, Carl Banks, Phil Simms, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick, Tom Coughlin, Mark Bavaro, Pepper Johnson, Leonard Marshall, Harry Carson. They became the Giants when he became the GM. Funny enough, if the Maras step back, their team becomes good. Ernie Accorsi set up the groundworks and then made Jerry Reese the GM. Jerry Reese, he's working his ass off. Was a bad drafter, by the way, Jerry Reese. I want to point that out. It was a very bad drafter, but he knew what to do. He knew how to operate with Tom Coughlin. Yielded 2 Super Bowl victories. The Maras were their hands off during most of those years. They meddled, but Jerry did his job most of the time. Him and Tom. But now their hands are in everything. And everything's infected. Everything's infected. Either sell the team or you hire an actual football president. Sell the team or hire the football. But the problem is Chris Mara wants to be that guy. He wants to be the savior. But why the hell would I want a petulant man-child as our president? He wants to Jerry Jones the New York Giants. And you know what? If you want to do that, be man enough and say that. Be that. But guess what? What the hell the Cowboys got to show for it?
Yeah, that's really bad. I mean, we have 3 Super Bowls, but...
Yeah, but Jimmy Johnson had a lot of sway.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Put someone in charge that knows what the hell he's doing.
Exactly. You guys had Jimmy Johnson. You know, Chris Mara, he done got a Jimmy Johnson. You know what I mean? That's why Jerry and Jimmy don't like each other, because Jimmy's like, I built this shit. And Jerry's like, no, I did. But, it's more Jimmy than Jerry, but it is what it is. That's what I'm saying. Like, here's the thing too, Caleb. Here's the thing too about Chris Mara too. You know who's Chris Mara's in-laws, Caleb?
Who's that?
The Rooneys. The Rooneys. He's married to one of the Rooneys. The Rooneys are the prime example of mom and pop shop run NFL teams to the highest level. They never had a GM until the early 2000s. The Rooneys ran the Steelers. And it yielded them 6 Super Bowls. 6. Because the Rooneys were the GM and the owners, yeah. But Chuck Noll ran the team. Chuck Noll was the man. You know what I mean? That's who it was. Dan and Art knew what he was doing. So the Maras want to be the Rooneys. But they're not as good as the Rooneys. And unfortunately, the good Rooneys have unfortunately passed away. Art Rooney II is no longer with us. Dan Rooney. No, I think Dan Rooney's still with us. Art Rooney Sr., the guy who created the dynasty, is no longer with us. And Chris, those are his in-laws. Those are his in-laws. So he's watching them operate this way and says, I can do that. No, you can't. Nothing from your track record shows that you can. You threw a hissy fit over the Russell Okung negotiation. You wanted to be a part of the front office, but you left midway through the draft to go see your horses at the Kentucky Derby. I thought you want to be a part of this team. I thought you wanted to be part of the front office. I thought you wanted to be the GM. Why are you in Louisville?
Because the horses are very important.
See, that's the thing, bro. The Giants are more important.
I mean, are they?
If they were more important to him, they probably would be better. But apparently, the horses are worth more. Even though his horses didn't win anything. His horses didn't win anything.
Oh, well, just like the Giants.
Well, at least the Giants got 2 Super Bowls in this millennium. Know what I mean? All right, man. Let's let's transition over to the future of the New York Giants and the future of the Dallas Cowboys.
You know what the Giants could do when they're hiring a GM? They could, hire a former quarterback as a consultant.
Yes, they can. Wait, funny. No, Caleb. A quarterback that has no connection to them.
Yeah.
No connection. What the hell is going on in Miami, bro? I don't get it. I don't understand.
Well, they need help. That's what. They can't do it. They can't hire someone that knows what the hell they're doing. So they need help to consult.
I guess. But Troy Aikman, bro. What he gonna say? What he's gonna say? You know what y'all should do? Y'all should really draft a running back and a wide receiver who are better than your quarterback, and then give your quarterback a great offensive line, and then your quarterback's just gonna ride the coattails of those guys.
I don't think he's saying anything about what you should do with the team. He's just saying who you should hire as their GM.
What the hell does he know?
He visits every single team and talks with all the personnel.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So should they hire Mike Tirico instead?
Well, they didn't hire him. They're just using them as consulting.
Well, they should hire him. Well, you know what? So why not hire Joe Buck, who's done this job longer than him?
Because they're play-by-play guys. They're not color commentators. Those are 2 different jobs.
But okay. Why didn't you hire
I mean, you have the same thing with Tom Brady. I mean, he's doing type of the
But
same type of thing, and he's a color commentator.
yeah, yeah. Well, he's an owner.
Well, yeah, no, he's an owner, but he's
Yeah.
also but just because he's a small owner doesn't mean he would have any sway. But the Raiders are using him as a consultant on what they should be doing.
Hmm. Yeah, like Tom Moore. When you know who Tom Moore is?
No,
He was Peyton Manning's offensive coordinator for many years, and he'd been an offensive coordinator for like years. He's been coaching in the NFL since like 1958. He's like 87 years old, and he gets hired to consult with teams. He's now working with Tampa Bay. He's consulting with their offense. But yeah, I guess. Um, yeah, sure, yeah, sure. Shout out to Troy Aikman. Do your thing, bro. Do your thing. Do your thing. But let's move on to the future of the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. The college football. Let's talk about it. College football quarterfinal reactions. We had great games that just happened these past couple days. On New Year's Eve,
yeah,
we had the Miami
I mean, we
Hurricanes.
had a couple good games.
Yeah, we had a couple good games, but a couple of bad games as well.
Yeah,
But the U gets revenge for 2002. The Miami Hurricanes bludgeon the Ohio State Buckeyes. I believe the score was
I really
20.
don't think any of them really cared about getting revenge.
Well, you know what I did? I definitely cared, and I appreciate them for caring for me. So shout out to them. So yeah, shout out to them. Miami beat no, that's not where the hell is the Miami score? There it is, 24-14. They beat them up. It was a physical game. It was all about the defenses. Carson Beck didn't lose the game for the Hurricanes. Shout out to Mark Fletcher Jr. He ran for 19 carries, 90 yards. Shamar Brown got a touchdown, but it was all about the Miami defense, man. Akeem Mesidor, Ruben T-Rex Baines Jr. People are gonna over think about Ruben Baines' arms. He's a dominator. He destroys them. So the U beat up on Ohio State. We won't be having a repeat champion. And when that game happened, Caleb, teams who have had the bye week in college football, the playoff these past 2 years, at that point, we're 0-5. We're 0-5. Then the next night, what did you watch this game, Caleb?
Yes, I watched.
Yeah, hit me up. What were your thoughts watching the game? The physicality, the Miami defense showing up. What did you think, bro?
I was surprised. I mean, I thought. I mean, obviously, I picked Ohio State to win,
Yes.
considering how they played all year and last year. I mean, they
Mhm.
just seem like they're a better team, better coach, everything. They got it all together. I maybe it shouldn't have been surprising considering they did lose in the Big Ten championship and they looked great in that game. Then they go into this game. Um, like you said, because they have all the time off. So you're coming off a loss, and you're kind of rusty too. So maybe it shouldn't have been that surprising. With my mommy getting that other game in the first round, winning, getting the momentum coming in. So yeah, I mean it was surprising, but maybe if you looked at it with all things considered, it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, man. It's unfortunately with Ohio State, right? People are blaming Ryan Day for doing the play. Like now he's taking over the play calling from Brian Hartline to relieve because Brian Hartline is now the head coach at the University of South Florida. So they're losing Brian Hartline. But I don't think it really changes because it just shows you that Julian Sayin isn't a difference maker. He isn't.
Well,
He's
they put a lot on him in this game. It was like all on him to make plays,
yeah.
and he
The
couldn't
Miami
really come
defense
up
is,
with
is
it.
too legit, man.
I
Miami
know,
hasn't
like their offensive
17
line could not
17
handle
points in
him.
the 2 games. They shut out Texas A&M only got 3 points. You know what I mean? Ohio State only got 14, which is like below their average. They were dropping 35, 40 points on people except Indiana.
And
But
he
that's
don't, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, they lost to Indiana 24-21, so it was a close game. So like, yeah, so like the defense showed up.
Yeah.
Miami's defense stopped them. Jeremiah Smith, you didn't have a Jeremiah Smith game. Carnell Tate, you know, this check he was, well, Jeremiah Smith had 7 catches, 157 and a touchdown. Craziest 157 I've ever heard in my entire life. But Carnell Tate, so they kind of let Jeremiah Smith, let me retract that. He did have a great game. They kind of let Jeremiah Smith do his thing. But they stopped everybody else. Carnell Tate, Brandon Enos, they didn't show up. 55 rushing yards from Bo Jackson, 31 yards from C.J. Donaldson Jr. I can't believe they have a freshman named Bo Jackson. That's beyond crazy to me. See, exactly, Bo. But like Julian's saying, in college football, sacks are rushing yards, negative 42 rushing yards. The pass rush, man, was getting home. They see Akeem Mizador 2 sacks, Wesley Byzantine 1 sack. You had Marquise Lightfoot a sack, Reuben Bain Jr. a sack. Reuben Bain Jr. The only way they stopped him most of the game, Caleb, is that they were grabbing him. There was a play where he beats his man, and the guy grabs his collar and like brings him down, and they threw the flag. Funny enough, Ohio State completes like a big pass. It was like a 15-yard pass, but they're like, no, we're bringing it back because you can't stop number 4.
Yeah,
And that's what.
and another thing that Miami did, they didn't leave it all on Carson Beck. Like I think
Yeah.
that's what they did last year. Just kind of they got him from Georgia. They just wanted to put it all on him, and they kind of just ran it more than they passed it. And I think that helped him out. Didn't make him where he didn't have any as many mistakes, and he could just play.
No, Cam Ward. It was Cam Ward last year. This is
No, I'm
Beck's first
saying
year.
no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got him coming in from last year from
Yeah.
Georgia, um, and they yeah so they didn't want
They
to put
ran
that
the
pressure
ball.
on his
They
play. Yeah,
ran the ball. Yeah, man. Shamar Brown, 26. Carson Beck, there was a couple of plays where he's dropping back and nobody open. Because, Ohio State has a good defense too. But he saw a crease and he said, I got to get this first down. And he rushed for that first down. There were a couple plays where like you needed to have that third down. And Carson Beck completed the pass or ran for the first down. He played in those moments, showed some moxie, some mental fortitude. I'm overall not sold on him because sometimes, for every game like this, he'll give you a game of 4 interceptions. You know what I mean? So give or take. So yeah, he played well. He didn't lose the game, right? He didn't lose the game, which is what they asked for. Don't lose this game. And that's what they did. They didn't lose this game.
yeah.
But let's move on. We got a couple more games to talk about. So then
the other 2 games were crap. I mean, they were blown.
Yeah, the other 2 games, were crap, but there's only one game that mattered. Well, we'll talk about the other 2. And then New Year's Day, it was the triple header, the 9 a.m. game. We had Oregon pitching a shutout against Texas Tech. They beat the Red Raiders 23-0. And shout out to James Madison, Caleb. Because James Madison dropped 34 points on the Oregon Ducks. And the 4th best team in the nation couldn't score a point. So
they didn't have a good quarterback.
You're not a big fan of Britton Morton?
No, he wasn't good.
You think? Well, that Oregon defense, man, they showed up and they slapped them around. They slapped the Texas Tech team around as well.
Yeah, I never believed in this Texas Tech team.
Yeah, I never did either. They're Texas Tech, bro. Like they're Texas Tech. I've never believed in Texas Tech ever. I've never believed in them ever. So it was a lot about the defense. It was a lot of turnovers, 2 sacks by Tamu Tilioti, Blake Purchase, and Mateo Uyangalele. That's DJ's younger brother.
Yeah, he had a hell of a play.
Yeah, Devin Finney. He had 2 turnovers. Atticus Sappington with 3 out of 4 field goals. So there's that. Yeah, man, Texas Tech, they just didn't show up. It was a good defensive slugfest. Texas Tech's offense couldn't help their defense more often than not. that tested defense, man, with David Bailey and Anthony Holmes Jr. and Jacob Rodriguez. They're a good bunch, but their offense showed no help, and they were on the field more often than not. What did you think?
Yeah, that's why, because I didn't believe Texas Tech because of their offense. I mean, yeah, they paid to get in a bunch of defensive players, and they had a good defense, but their offense wasn't going to take them nowhere. And that proved to be true.
Yeah. Proved to be true. Unfortunately, it proved to be true. All right, let's moving on to the other game, the horrible game. It's horrible for some, but not for all. Shout out to the Indiana Hoosiers dominating Alabama 38-3. So Caleb, before this game started, teams with bye weeks in these past 2 years were 0-6. 0-6 until Indiana broke that. They're the only team with a bye week in these past 2 years to win their game. 38-3. Belt to behind. Caleb, if I told you, 3 years ago, Alabama is going to get beat down by Indiana 38-3, what would you think I was on?
I would say Saban's still there, or that's probably why.
Did Saban leave? Exactly. Caleb, let me give you a stat that encapsulates the wildness of this game. Do you know who has the second most wins in all of FBS history?
No.
Alabama. Do you know who has the second most losses in NCAA FBS history?
Well, I'm going to guess that's Indiana.
It's Indiana. They are the worst football program, bar none.
Really?
Bar none. They were the worst football program, bar
Well, they're always
none.
in the good conference, right? How long they've been in the Big Ten?
30, 40 years maybe.
Well, let's see. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were in like some, Group of Five conference, I don't think that would be quite the case.
I don't know, man. Even Vanderbilt had a couple of good years under James Franklin where they won 8 games. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think they would be, whatever you said, the second worst, so like or have the most losses or whatever. If they were in a worse conference, they probably could have won some games.
Let me see when they joined the Big Ten. Let me look this up for you.
Because yeah, I mean,
they've been a part of the Big Ten. Hold up. When they conference affiliations, they've been part of the Big Ten since 1945.
Well, there you go.
No, that's not it. No, they've been a part of the Big Ten since 1900.
Okay, well, see, there you go. They're playing great competition all the time, and they're not a good school. That doesn't focus on football; they focus on basketball. So that would make sense.
They are a basketball school. They are the big. They are the best, one of the best basketball schools in history. So there's that. But yeah, man, here it is, man. Let's look at it, man. Like they've been to how many bowl games? They've been to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They've been to 15 bowl games, Caleb, since 1900. 15 bowl games. That's horrible. But how many of them led to wins? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. This was their 4th bowl game win.
Yeah.
Ever, Caleb. Ever. This is their 4th bowl game win ever. This game, Caleb, showed college football. Times have changed. It's over. Times have changed. In the SEC, it means more. Doesn't matter. It doesn't. It no longer means more.
Well, it still means more.
It means more, but you're not going to win more anymore.
You know what I mean? But everybody has an
equal playing field.
Yeah, even playing field now.
Back in the day, you would call your bag man at Alabama or Auburn or LSU or Ole Miss. The bag man would go to a parking lot, drop a duffel bag, walk away. You come up, grab that duffel bag. It's like 50 grand in cash. Now you're finding out that some of these schools, most of them actually followed the rules. And they followed the rules. Now that you can pay players, the schools that are going to dominate college football, Caleb, are the schools you're not going to know. You were like, how? The difference between Indiana, though, probably their alumni base is rich. I don't know their alumni base, they're rich or not. The difference in Indiana and every other new college football powerhouse in the NIL era, Texas Tech with their oil money, BYU with their, rich crumble cookie finance money. You know what I mean? Michigan with their finance money. Indiana has the one X factor that no other team has. Curt Cignetti.
Yeah.
He's the best coach in all of college football, bar none. He's the X factor. Most of the players that were making plays on New Year's Day, Caleb, against Alabama, were all of his James Madison transfers who followed him to Indiana. He was the former head coach at James Madison, funny enough. The team that dropped 34 on Oregon. He was their former head coach. He won them a national title, I believe. No, wait, hold up. Was that Mike Houston? Let me double check that. I don't want to. Cignetti. He brought his James Madison kids with him, and they were the best players on the field. Aiden Fisher, Damari Pons, Charlie, is it Charlie Bechter from old James Madison? But I don't know. But yeah, like the defensive players were from James Madison, and they were making plays. They were dictating tempo. They were dictating physicality. James Madison, this FCS school, he coached them when he was with the FCS, went on that field and punched Alabama Crimson Tide football players in the mouth, and then kept punching them in the mouth, and kept punching them in the mouth, and then they broke them. They broke Alabama. Indiana broke Alabama. Why? Does not sound crazy to anybody? That's crazy. That's crazy, Caleb. Indiana broke Alabama. It was wild, man. It was wild. Any final thoughts?
No, it was just, I don't know. Yeah, it's an incredible job that Curt Cignetti has done. One of the best jobs ever. Like you said, the SEC, those teams, they gotta adapt. They gotta do whatever everybody else is doing, and they gotta kind of relax and do the same thing. That's because they can, get all the best players, which they still do. They still get all the talent, but now you actually have to, get your coaching
Fight.
staffs.
You gotta fight.
You actually have to coach. I think you just have to coach. I don't think they had the best coaching.
No,
Because
they don't.
I
They don't
think
have the
they
best
could.
coach anymore.
I think they could just sit back and say, "Oh, we just have the best talent, and we go out there and win games."
Yeah.
Now you see with
People,
with this guy, he comes in. No, he's actually coaching up his guys and winning that way.
the SEC ran the coattails of the greatest college football coach of all time. He was their shining light. It's like, the rest of the conference may suck, but Alabama's going to be in that national title game. Alabama's going to be in the national title game. Some years we may get LSU. Some years we may get LSU. Some years we may get Auburn. But one thing we can rely on is him, Nick Saban. Nick Saban's gone. The coaching in the SEC, you find out they all have flaws, major flaws. Some of them can't hack it. Kirby Smart, for his 2 national titles, routinely loses to teams where you're like, you should beat that team. Speaking of Kirby Smart, let's move on to the best game of the playoffs, and it was the Sugar Bowl thriller. Ole Miss beats UGA in a thriller, 39-34. What an amazing game. What an amazing game.
It was.
Trinidad Chamberlain, baby. All gold on my chain. Believe me, just watch. And we watched, and we learned and we were impressed. Hats off to you, my good sir. Caleb, at one point, he went 13 of 13 in that game.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the plays he was making. I was like, what the hell? Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Just coming on like the back to back plays that he got away from the rush. I mean, they
Yes.
blitzed the hell out of him, and he got away and made incredible throws. Like, how did he make that throw with the pass rush coming at him? And yeah, I mean, even in the touchdown pass, the back shoulder was like, oh my god, what a great
Oh,
throw!
it was timed perfectly. The DB had no shot. DB had no shot, Caleb.
The 2-point conversion was
Oh,
great in the back of the end zone, where he didn't the guy was covered, and he didn't even know that he was open yet, and he still threw it, and then he trusted his receiver to catch the ball. Like, dude was on. I mean,
he
he
was
was
on.
like, my god, he was
Yeah.
just hitting everything.
And man, it got real close at the end. He shot to Gunnar Stockton. He made some great plays as well for Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia had a shot to win the game. Yo, Gunnar Stockton got lit up more than once. He got lit up more than once. It was kind of reminiscent of their previous game this year, where it was also a shootout, where Old Miss kind of lost some gas in that game, and then Georgia erased the 9-point lead for them. But this game was amazing, man. This game was amazing. He
yeah.
was playing.
I
He
mean,
got gold rings. Yeah, you goddamn right.
they lost it because they couldn't score the touchdown. They needed to score that touchdown. And not take the field goal, and that's where they lost it. Because I mean, with the how well the Ole Miss offense was going, I mean, you can't
You
sit
need
there
to
and
score.
say you're going to give the ball back and expect to defend them.
Yeah, yeah. It was a great game, man. It was a great game. Yo, shout out to the homies in the chat. Shout out to Dave Vaughn was here. Shout out to Pay the Bills, Ivan Drago. Shout out to main man Leo. Shout out to you, Leo. I hope your holidays and your Christmas was amazing. Hope everyone's holidays was great, because it was great for me, man. For 2 days I watched some good college football, some mind blowing college football like the Indiana and Alabama games. I want to give credit. Like I said, I talked about the James Madison transfers. Aiden Fisher, the linebacker, D'Angelo Pons, the DB, Mikhail Kamara, Elijah Surratt, the wide receiver, and then I believe is Kalon Black, the running back as well. So those are the guys that had themselves some great games. They showed up and they imposed their will on Alabama. Imagine, Caleb, most of James Madison's players are on Indiana. This is James Madison from the Sun Belt, from the FCS. Unfortunately, Kurt Signetti did not bring them a title. They lost to North Dakota State, so it was actually Mike Houston who brought them the title. And they beat Alabama. And then Old Miss beats Georgia. So, Caleb, teams with bye weeks in college football playoffs are 1-8 or 1-7. They're 1-7.
You know,
Indiana being the only team to break the bye week curse. Every team with the bye week for the past 2 years has lost their game. They are 1-7. So don't get a bye week, guys. Don't be
that's
the
a
top.
long time. You get a month off. Like, that's just a
Yeah,
month to not play any games.
yeah.
I mean,
And your opponent
that's
is
rough.
coming off of a
I know
game that they
that they
won.
win, and you
Yeah,
have all the momentum, and they're all ready to
yeah.
go, and so yeah, I mean, you may be healthier, but I mean, you're
You're
just
rustier.
not. Yeah, you're a lot rustier. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
not like just the normal bye week rust. Like, you have a whole month week rust.
Yeah, Dan Lanning said, why don't they just, keep playing through December? Season ends and they just keep playing. But I think for academic purposes, they're not
Not
allowed
with
to or something.
academic purposes, crap.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think they
doesn't
should.
I mean doesn't the FCS do it way different?
It's bigger,
They
and
just
they and
don't
they
they just
play
keep
every week.
playing? Yeah, they just
They
keep
play every
playing.
week.
So
Yeah,
why the hell can't you do it? So the academic
that's what
is
I'm saying. No, Caleb, that's what
just
I'm telling
bull
you,
crap.
man. So I'm telling you, like I don't know if you were there. It was the overtime show at lunch break hot take. Shout out to LBHT. Shout out to Jose Brodney. So someone made a graphic of the so the FCS does 24 teams, because it's 100. It's over 150 schools, right? So they made a graphic for 24 teams, and and uh and they did a graphic of the FBS with those 24 teams. The FCS has been doing 24 teams for the past 15 years. So it's doable. How is it? How is it the FCS, the alleged little brother of college football, the subdivision, has been able to do this for the past 15 years? No one complains about it.
Yeah, why
But the
don't they do
FBS,
the academics and whatever? Like,
exactly, because the FBS is they bullshitting, bro. They lying. But I think also too is the major bowl games, the Rose Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl. They don't want to lose relevancy. They don't want to lose.
already
They don't.
irrelevant. Nobody
Yeah,
cares.
they don't want to. Yeah. They don't want to lose like importance, right? I'm just saying this, man. This is what they should do. Do FCS 24 teams title game in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. Primary location, like they do with with college baseball, where every year it's called the Road to Omaha. So have college will be like the Road to Pasadena for like you can fix it with ease, bro. But they're too greedy, and they want to make it so they're greedy. It's really just greed. The reason it's so complicated is because of greed
Nobody cares about any of these bowl games. Like
anymore.
nobody cares about them. Like all the they only care about the playoffs. Just have their like the whole importance that it's a Rose or nobody even nobody even knows until they go sit down and watch it. I was like, oh, it's the Rose Bowl. They just care about it's a playoff game. That's where the sin of it comes from. That's a playoff game. If it was anything else but a playoff game, nobody would give a damn.
Also, too, I care about bowl games for teams that didn't make the playoffs. Like shout out to the Frosted Flakes Bowl or the Pop Tart Bowl.
Nobody cares about the
Those matters to me. Yes, they do.
They don't matter.
Yes, they do.
They
Yeah,
don't.
they matter. They matter.
Don't matter.
Teams that don't make the playoffs, you matter, and I see you.
They don't matter.
He's
It's a waste of time.
He's an NFL guy watching college football. Don't mind him, guys. He's a little woo woo in the brain. It's fine, guys. You matter.
They don't matter.
You matter to me.
It's
You matter to me,
dumb.
guys.
It's
You matter to
dumb.
me, and I love
Waste
you.
of time.
I love you, Pop Tart Bowl. I love you. All right. Shout out to the Duke's Mayo Bowl. I love you too, but I don't want mayonnaise on my body. That's just weird. But yes, that's our college football roundup. Now to the end of the show. Big news. It is NFC East week here at I was about to say
Before we get into
LBHD.
that, we can talk about we did cut Trayvon Diggs.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot. I also forgot we should have done the semifinals preview, but we've talked a lot. Well, first before the Trayvon Diggs, let's do semifinals preview. Caleb, do you think Oregon avenges their only loss this year? Let's do quick. Oregon or Indiana?
No, Indiana's going.
Indiana's gonna win
Yeah.
because they did beat Oregon on the road at Oregon, so it's actually a very
Indiana's
impressive
the best
win.
team. Indiana's
Yeah, Indiana. Okay. Yeah, man, Indiana's good, man. I'm gonna go Indiana because the offensive line of Oregon, I think, is a little banged up. All right, game number 2. Is the U back, or is it hotty toddy all around?
I mean, after what I saw in that game, I mean,
Defense or offense? Where are we going?
I'm going Ole Miss.
You're going Old Miss. All right, Indiana or Old Miss?
Ole Miss.
Old Miss to win the title.
Indiana. My bad. Sorry.
Okay, so you got Indiana winning the title.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Indiana, Miami, because I think Miami's defense is better. Like they're better.
Yeah, they are better.
Yeah,
Magic. I can't unwatch that.
Trinidad Chamberlain.
Yeah.
Hey man, gold all my rings, man. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go Miami, Indiana. I'm gonna go Indiana, man. You know what? No, I'm going Miami. I'm going the U's back, baby. The U's back. Ruben Bain, Akeem Mizador. Those are the guys. Those are the guys that are gonna wreck the game. They wreck games. All right, now let's talk about big news coming out of it. Trayvon Diggs got cut. By the way, I believe he got picked up by the Packers.
Yes.
He got picked up by the Packers a couple days ago. But you guys cut him after the Christmas Day game in Washington. Yay, nay, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying it for 2 years to get rid of him. As soon as he got that first injury, where he didn't come in for rehab, he was causing a lot of problems. He didn't look good after that. I've been saying it. I've been wanting to get rid of him, and then we release him, and we get nothing out of him. That's so dumb. We paid him an assload of money just for nothing. We get nothing out of him. We didn't get good play out of him, and we didn't get any picks out of him. So what the hell? I understand why he did it. It's because he wanted to stay with his family after the game, and they said no, and then he does it anyways. So it was just like kind of the final straw. It's like, okay, you know, just leave because they're sick and tired of him, and they don't want to see him anymore. But I mean, you had opportunity after opportunity to get rid of this guy. You could have traded him when you still had value on him until everybody had before everybody could see how bad he's gotten, because he's been cooked all the time, and a lot of it has to do with those injuries, and then obviously some of it has to do with the defensive coordinator as well not been in the scheme. So I don't, it's a lot of different combination of things of why he's not good anymore. But I don't expect him to be good anywhere else because he just doesn't seem like he has it anymore.
Well, my 2 cents here's the thing. I think you're also your defensive coordinator also admitted.
That's why I said I blame the defensive coordinator for his play as well. But I still think he's that good.
Yeah, anymore. I think he tore his Achilles and he tore his ACL. Yeah, I mean, was it Achilles and ACL? Correct.
I think it's ACL twice.
ACL twice. Yeah, so. He was gonna lose speed. And he was never a good corner to begin with. He was a gambler.
Come on, he was not.
He was a good gambler, bro. But he gave up a lot of yards. Don't say he didn't give up a lot of yards.
That's the only time anybody's ever talked about who gave up a lot of yards. It's never been spoken about ever before or after that.
What are you talking about? Darrelle Revis barely gave up any yards. That was
why nobody ever talked about. I've never heard of any other quarterback ever saying, "Oh, that quarterback gave a bunch of yards."
So we're not gonna talk about how Darrelle Revis kept Randy Moss under 35 yards.
Just name me another corner. Just name me another corner that you say, "Oh, this guy gives up a lot of yards."
You know
exactly. What? You can't because nobody ever talks about that. Nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, because people kept saying how he was the best corner in the league.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
You guys used to say it all the time.
Oh my God.
Someone said he should have been Defensive Player of the Year.
Well, yeah, but based off the stats, yes.
The reason the pick sixes happen is that your defensive line would get to the quarterback as quickly as possible.
It's the fact that they did happen. You can't just erase the fact that they did happen. They happened.
All right. Whatever, man. Honestly, I think here's the thing, right? They cut him at a point where it was just petty. Because you could have cut him for the past 2 years for play justifiably for these past 2 years. So he asks you twice through proper channels. He wants to stay with his family.
He asked an hour before.
So the reporters so Clarence Hill Jr., the guy who covers the Cowboys, said he asked through proper channels.
Yes, but
first
he did it an hour before they were supposed to get on the plane.
So why didn't Clarence Hill bring that part up then?
I have no idea because
he said
brought up that point.
Because he said it was through proper channels.
Yes,
everyone's been saying it's been through. Okay, so if it was proper channels, 30 minutes an hour. If it was through proper channels,
because they're already ready to get on the plane as a team. We come as a team. We leave as a team. Maybe it would have been different if he asked. Week prior.
I got a question. So y'all fall in Dallas that day, and then the next day your head coach goes straight to Wyoming. Why not just let him stay in DC? If that was the case, if y'all were going to give everybody day off anyway.
This is the protocol. That's what you do for security reasons, for a bunch of different
But everyone's been saying this is a common thing for most NFL players. They always ask this.
They don't ask for him an hour before, probably.
So he asked for an hour before takeoff.
Yes, hour before takeoff.
So Clarence Hill, did he not say that in his tweet? I swear
other Cowboys reporters have said that.
I think I misspelled Clarence Hill's name wrong. My bad. Clarence. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know Clarence.
Is it Clarence?
Yes.
Clarence.
But yeah, Clarence? He's correct. He went to bomb. But you can't do it an hour before. That's his name.
He's like, no, okay. See, here's the thing. No, Clarence left that part out. That you can't do that an hour before takeoff.
Yes, it's literally after the game. They're in lobby. He goes to the proper channels, but it's literally like No, this is like a security problem. We have our team. We're gonna get on as a team. We're gonna go. We're not gonna make special rules for you.
You should have asked the day before. A day. I
Maybe he
think
would
the
have
day.
got. Maybe they said yes if he asked the day before, week before. Probably should have known.
An hour before takeoff. Nah, man, that does not look good. That does not look good.
But I mean, they should cut him when he's sitting there in training camp when he's next to Michael Parsons. That's Michael Parsons is going back and forth with Jaron Jones, talking a bunch of shit. Jaron Jones with the reporters, and Trayvon Diggs is sitting there right next to him, saying, "Yeah, this and that," and kind of agreeing with everything Micah's saying. How did you not cut him right then? Like, you knew he was going to be a problem from there, and he had been a problem. And you should have cut him when he lied about how he got his concussion, because nobody believes that you got a concussion because you were setting up your TV.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
I mean, it's just, and I said that. I said it as soon when there was no story before. I was like, I don't believe a damn word about how you got a concussion. You were doing some whatever. I don't know exactly what you're doing, but it definitely weren't putting up no TV, especially when you could literally you have money enough to hire someone to put up the TV for you.
Yeah, you could have. Yo, man, this is a shit show, man. It's a shit show. An hour before. An hour before? Why did you think that was going to be okay? An hour before takeoff.
Because you don't care no more. Because you don't care. You don't care to be on the team no more. And that's why they were just sick of him and said, okay, bye. We're releasing you. Because they just want no more headaches with them. It was just a bad situation. It's been a bad situation for a long time.
Yeah, man. All right, man. I was sitting there ready to defend him, but you can't defend an hour before takeoff, bro. Like, unless I would only defend him if that's happened before and they've said yes before. But I don't know if they've said yes before. That's the thing. Like, if a player's done this before and they've said yes, I would defend Trayvon Diggs. But I don't know any player that's asked an hour before takeoff, flying back to Dallas, can I stay here? It's usually a day before, or you know what I mean? Like, it's why'd you knew you were going to DC. Why not ask 2 days before the game, after the game, can I stay with my family?
Oh, probably his concussion made him stupid.
Yeah. All right. You stupid, man. But yeah, man. All right. Let's now preview
the big game with the Packers. Do you think he's going to do anything with the Packers?
No, I don't know why the Packers picked him up.
Well, because his buddy Michael Parsons is there.
Well, that's someone you definitely need. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on in his head, man. An hour before, like, what are you doing? You knew you were going to DC, win or loss. You wanted to stay. You should have said 2 days before, like, "Hey, dog, let me stay here." I was gonna defend the guy, but I can somewhat defend him, but I can't defend him. Yeah, he's just dumb. Just dumb. Just dumb. All right, let's move on. It's week 18. It's the second game of the Good Friends, Better Rivals Bowl. It is Dallas. It is New York. In New York. And I swear to God, Caleb, you better not lose this match. You better not lose this. Dak Prescott says he's playing, which means we got the Dak Prescott.
I guarantee he will play.
Is he going to play the entire game?
I don't know.
That's not good. But it doesn't matter. Anytime he's started a game, you've won it. Because I remember the game he started where he broke his ankle. Andy Dalton still beat us. Hopefully
he gets off to a quick lead, and then they take him out, and then everything's all good, and we don't have to worry about no Giants come back.
That's not happening, man. You better not, Caleb. Because here's the thing, Caleb. If we do win in some mythical world, and the Titans lose and other teams lose, we go from 2 down to 7th.
Damn.
So we go from 2 to 7.
I mean, that would just be the perfect Giants thing to do.
That would be the worst thing in the world. You know, beating the Vegas Raiders, I expected maybe we beat them because they're bad as well. So I expected a win, maybe. But we shouldn't win. Because if we win, we go from 2-7. I swear to God, Caleb, I will never forgive you. I will never forgive you for everything. The one game Dak Prescott doesn't want to win.
He wants
the one
to win.
week.
He wants to win.
Better win.
But I mean, that defense doesn't want to win. That defense doesn't want to win all year. That defense sucks.
And unfortunately, we got Jackson Dart now. Y'all gave up 37 points to Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And Jackson Dart dropped 32 points on Denver's defense. What is he going to do to your defense?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, man.
We have no Bland. We have no Diggs.
Oh, God.
Some crappy safety. We have some crappy linebackers. No pass rush.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Ugh, the one game, man.
So it might be
one game, you guys.
Might be a shootout again.
I swear to God, if you guys don't beat us, I'm gonna lose my shit, man.
I want to win. I want to win.
I need you to win.
That because obviously with our draft pick, I don't see much difference in like going like 12 or 18. You know, I don't think there's much difference there. Also, I just want to win because I want Dak to have the winning record, never having a losing record when he's healthy. So I want that, and just good way to, and at least we don't end with losing season because that's just gross. Hey, having losing seasons, at least we'll be 500. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's nothing much to talk about here. Let's talk about it. Who's winning this game?
Well, I don't even know if Javonte Williams is playing because he got hurt in the last game.
He may sit out.
So they might put Jaden Blue finally.
Yeah, him and his fumbles. All right, let's do this. I'm going Dallas. 38. Giants 30.
Yeah, I'm gonna score that much. I don't know. It's hard to say if they leave him in there. Yeah, we could go with 30s, but I don't know if they're gonna leave him for that long. So I'm just gonna go 27-23.
27-23. Really?
Yeah.
Now you dropped 30 on Washington. You don't think you can drop 30 on us?
Is he gonna be in the whole game?
That's a good point. I think he will.
I don't know. He might be.
So I'm saying 38-30.
But if he's not, then
because I think the game stays tight. So that's why he stays in the game.
He scores like 3 touchdowns, and then he says, "Okay, I'm done."
He's 13-0 in his last 13 starts, man. He wants to make it. Oh yeah, he was 13-0 coming into week 2. He won that game. He's 14-0. This will be 15.
Great.
14 straight. I need him to make it 15. I needed to make it 15. I'm not rooting for a win. And and I don't care if Giants fans be like, whatever, you don't root for us to lose. We have to lose. Because we go from 2-7. Because from that 3-5 range, the wide receiver we want is going to be gone.
But do you really want Dak to have a season's worth of beating you?
It's fine. We'll beat him next year. We've already lost. Dallas 24, Giants 35. What the hell are you smoking, Leo? Stop that.
He knows that defense.
You stop it.
He's seen the defense.
You stop it. I swear to God, the one game Dak doesn't win is the game that makes us from 2-7.
Well, it won't be his fault.
I swear to God, Caleb, I will never forgive you. I'll never forgive Leo. I'll never forgive anyone. I will end this podcast. I swear to God, I will end it. You better win. All right. On that note, thank you guys so much for joining us. We had a wonderful day. Yes. After we're about to end the show, guys. Starting 11 is on right now, so go over to starting 11 after this is done. Same channel, just a different video. Absolutely. But Caleb, tell people where we can find you, but big dog.
You can find me at NFL Caleb22 on Instagram and Twitter /X, and you can find me on this channel doing better than NFL on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. No episode this week because I really didn't find any 5 bets that I liked because nobody's playing. I have no idea who's playing. And there's only 3 games, and I didn't even like those 3 games. So, but we're back for the playoffs. I will, no matter what, be picking all the games of the playoffs all the way to the Super Bowl. So join us on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock if you guys like making money.
All right, guys. My name is Fares Muthana. You can find me at Fares Muthana on X, the_Fares_Muthana on Instagram. Find me here every Friday, 5 o'clock Pacific. Good friends, better. Unfortunately, we won't be having a show next week. I'm going on vacation, so we'll be back in 2 weeks. So be on the lookout for that. I will have more information. We'll be talking about if Joe Shane is fired. Probably not. He's probably keeping his job, and the Giants are going to be run by a man-child who's an idiot. So there's that. Or shout out to Julia Koch for buying my team. It depends on what we see. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. Have a wonderful time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're at 274 subscribers. We're trying to get to 300. So we're 26 away. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, share this link, and make sure after this video, go over to the same channel. Where to, Fares? I'm going to the woods. I'm going to a cabin. I'm gonna be drinking hot chocolate by a fire. Not like that. I'm not gonna die.
Cabin in the woods.
Well, even if that does happen, I do have. Let's just say, I got a big iron on my hip. That's all I have to say is that I got a big iron on my hip. But on that note, yeah. So same channel, different video. The link is in the chat right there. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful time, and we'll see you guys next 2 weeks. Peace out.